Hello and welcome to this video. Before we get started properly, I just want to talk about a couple of things. Firstly, I want to apologise for this video being a week later than the normal 3-week gap. That is for a couple of reasons. Firstly, my parts didn't arrive till Thursday, so I wasn't actually able to shoot the video. And secondly, I wanted to do this video after The Rise of Skywalker was released in cinemas, so I could quickly talk about it and give you my views. If you're not interested in my views, or you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled by it, because I am going to talk about everything in this film, spoilers and everything, then skip to this time code where the video starts properly. Also spoilers for The Mandalorian, because I am going to talk about The Mandalorian as well. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side of this brief talk about The Rise of Skywalker. First of all, I just want to say I absolutely bloody love this film. I really, really love this film. I was a bit disheartened because I saw it at midnight in the UK. I was a bit disheartened when I woke up and all the negative reviews were out. And I was like, oh, was it not as good as I remember? What? But thinking about it more, and I actually love this film. It is very Remember Berry heavy. It does cater for the fans, it does cater for all the nostalgic feelings, and I am okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. There's no problem with that for me at all. I'm a slave to all that kind of stuff, you know. I don't think any of us would be hobbyists and collectors if we didn't feed the Remember Berries, you know. My Power Ranger collection, my Spider-Man collection, you know, the Star Wars collection, it all ties in to when I was a kid. And I want to recapture that. So I absolutely love that film, this film, for all the nods to the past films. And it is a wrap-up of 9 films, including this new sequel trilogy. So I think a bit of fan service is earned in this film. A couple of things aren't earned. It's not a perfect film by any means. There are some parts which made me drop my shoulders and go, oh, really? For me, the kiss between Kylo and Rey wasn't really needed. I didn't buy into the whole Kylo thing. Reylo thing, but whatever, some people would love that, so they got that. And it didn't make sense if you really think about it, but JJ's task of completely obliterating The Last Jedi so we don't actually have to watch that, I'm well okay with that, because I don't think I disliked The Last Jedi. I was just very, very disappointed with The Last Jedi and what they did with Luke and all of that stuff. So to reset that for me is a good thing, and I loved it. I love the fact that it did that. I'm going to go see it again on Christmas Eve with the family, and I'm sure the kids will love it. I'm sure kids will love this film, and it is important to remember that it is aimed at that kid audience primarily, although this one did have a lot of fan service. The musical cues, you know, John Williams is fantastic. When Luke rows the X-Wing from the lake, Act 2, and it's the same music as when Yoda did it, oh, that was great. Actually hearing the Star Wars theme in the film and not at the opening crawl or at the end when all the ships arrived. Who else got chills at that moment? Come on, give a like to this video if you got chills at that moment, because that was unbelievable. The Emperor in this film was amazing. I love the look of the Emperor. I love the story, even though it possibly didn't make much sense, but I loved it. I like the video game plot of it being a fetch quest at the start and trying to find the MacGuffin. I didn't mind that. I'm a big video gamer, and I play games like Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy and stuff like that, which are all fetch quest games. So yeah, it hit me right at that level as well. It was great. The special effects were stunning. When Rey shot lightning out of her fingertips, that blew me away. I was like, whoa, and that's when I knew that I was invested, and I didn't think that was dumb at all. I was like, whoa, that's awesome. I think if I hadn't seen the Mandalorian episode beforehand, I think I would have been a bit, oh really, Jedis can actually physically heal wounds? But because it was kind of set up just a few hours before for me, when I saw the latest episode 7 of The Mandalorian, with Baby Yoda doing that, it wasn't as big a shock to me. So which was cool. What else did I like? I like the fact that all 3 characters were together, the main cast. I like the fact that Rose was in the background more. She didn't deserve the hate and the death threats and everything she got, absolutely not, but her character was useless in The Last Jedi, and I'm glad that, you know, just like Jar Jar, I'm glad that she was pushed to the background. I liked some of the new characters. They were a bit pointless Actually, no. The two new characters in this were pretty much pointless. So he could have done without them. I didn't really like that. It doesn't beat Force Awakens for me. Force Awakens, I think, will always hold a fonder place in my heart because I think it was a better film. So for me, it goes Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, right at the bottom, The Last Jedi. Below all the prequels, below Solo, everything like that. That's my little sequel roundup. But let me know what you thought in the comments down below of what you liked or disliked, whether you liked The Rise of Skywalker. I imagine, and I might be wrong here, I imagine for hardcore fans like us, we loved it because it was just this nostalgic trip. And even though it didn't make much sense, it was brilliant to see all these things happen. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I really liked it. Let me know what you think down below. I mean, this X-Wing has a whole new lease of life now. I'm really glad I am building this X-Wing model now because it's got this whole new lease of life that it comes back in this film and Rey's driving it, and that nostalgic moment of Luke rising it. What a payoff. Oh, and the biggest payoff for me was Chewie getting the medal. I went, oh, I think I made that noise out loud in the cinema. Oh, and the guy next to me was like, what? I don't think the guy next to me enjoyed it at all. But it's just little stuff like that. That was just great. I just loved it. So I'm going to stop waffling now, and I'm going to get started on the next X-Wing video where we're building what comes in issue 15 and issue 16. Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build Your Own X-Wing, where we are looking at issues 15 and 16 this time. I feel like I've been at this build a lot longer than just 15, 16. I need to remember it is only 2 issues per month I am getting. Hopefully that will change in the new year, fingers crossed for that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started by looking at what comes in issue 15, and again we're looking at the engine part of this X-Wing, and the first 2 parts we get in issue 15 are these 2 parts here, which I have gently pushed together, but these 2 fantastically painted metal looking parts. They are plastic, as you can see here, they're not metal, but the first step you do is you just push these 3 pegs into these 3 holes just like that, and they fit together really very nicely indeed. No glue, no screws, they just go in there like that. Now the next few pieces of issue 15 come in this little box, and they're all nice little fiddly pieces. So I'm just going to try and attempt to open these up, and then we'll go through these one by one. Okay, so the first piece from the box is this little piece here, little handlebar looking piece, and this will just go into these 2 holes here to complete this line of 3. I don't know really why they molded 2 and left 1 of them to do for us, rather than all 3. Oh, I guess I now know why, because it sticks out a little bit further. Yeah, that's why. And that is pushed in all the way. So that's why they did that. Oh, because they're actually molded without a gap, and this one has a gap down there. That's why. So that is the first little piece done. The next piece is this thicker pipe. Believe it or not, this is one of the thickest pipes. And it's got a little D-shaped peg there. Let me just find this D-shaped hole. Is it this one? I think it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so yeah, it's this hole here. This D-shaped looking hole here. So I will just aim that one in there like that, and that just pushes in there and sticks up that way like that. Now the next 2 pieces look like this, and they are very similar. They're like little exhaust manifolds there. Looking very nice. I do like those little holes we've got going on there. The first piece we're going to use is this piece, which is got the slightly... Oh no, they are exactly the same. But it's this right-hand piece here. Take a look at it. It's the one where this curve goes all the way out that way. And we will slot in Where am I looking for this? Okay, yeah, so like this. So we will slot this peg into this hole here, like so. Does it just rest against it? Does it actually go in? I think it just rests against it. And then, oh, I see. These two pegs here go into these two holes here. That's what the focus needs to be. And then this one lines up. Okay, I see. So it sort of goes in like that. Oh, it does go in. It does go in. Okay, yeah. So that slots in very nicely. You can see that this starts to look like an engine. Those of you who built the DeLorean along with me will know that this looks very similar to the DeLorean engine. And I assume, and I'm correct in assuming, that these pieces also do the same. So you just go into these two holes here. This is very fiddly. Oops. There we go. And then that just pushes into that hole there. And they are not the most securest things in the world, but they look like that when they are in. And they won't come out. Maybe a bit of glue might help, but I don't think they will go out. Well, this is all going to be hidden anyway. This is going inside the engine, so if it does pop out, it might rattle. So maybe glue it down or just leave it. It's up to you. The next piece is this pipe here, this little piece of pipe work. And if we just get it here, it just pops into this hole here. Let's do it down this side first of all. So it just pops into that hole there, and then that hole there. And they just get pushed in. Come on. Haven't quite got the angle right on this bit. Oh. Fiddly fiddly. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to do this off camera. Be right back. And done. So that pipe work just goes in there like that. It's a little bit bent, but that's okay. And the next part will go into these two holes here, and the next part is similar looking. Actually, it is this part here. So it's a similar looking pipe, as you can see here, but it's got this little dent here. So it's similar but different. So I'm going to put it into this bottom hole first. There we go, and then just push that in there like that. Those two pipes are installed there. Very nice indeed. Again, not the straightest in the world, but there we go. Looking really good. Really good indeed. So the next part is this part here with 4 holes for 4 pipes. These will be the pegs to connect it. And the pipes that we are using are these pipes here. So let's just have a look at one of them. Just little rounded pipes like that. And you need to, first of all, put these pipes into these holes. So there's one of them there like that, and another one. In fact, I'm going to speed this part up to save you some time. So see you on the other side. Okay, there we go. That is that part all done. A little fiddly to do, but that's what it looks like when it's all done. Now I am fiddling around with this and it is falling apart, so it is time to attach it onto this part here. Now what will happen is that these 4 pegs here will go into these 4 holes here, and these will just peg into there like that. Now that is the wrong way around, so I assume that this one goes on this side like so, and they should all fit in. They don't look like they're going to fit in at all. Have I just done this completely wrong? Have I just completely messed this up? Is that why it's not looking right? I don't know. Why isn't that looking right? Okay, I'm going to have a look at this off camera, and I'm going to skip this part because I'm wasting time fiddling around. But they do clip on. One goes on that side, one goes on that side, and I'll show you what it all looks like when I am done. And here it is all done. So that is what, oh, for goodness sake. Okay, this is what it looked like when it's all done. All those pipes connected just like that. This side wasn't too much of a problem when I worked out which way around it is. This side though, which is missing 2 pipes. I've got one in my hand. I don't actually know where the other one has gone, but I'm not going to waste any more time on this because it is all internal. So you can't see it anyway, but you're meant to have 2 pipes obviously connecting it to make it look like these 4, and then this is meant to be the engine parts. But it is so fiddly, they're so loose, and I don't have any glue anymore because I didn't think I'd need it for this build, so I ran out and I haven't bought any more, which is frustrating because I needed it at this point. This part I recommend does need glue. I'd also recommend that you attach the 4-hole part first to the main body of this engine piece and then attach the pipes. Is much easier to do that way. If I find the other one of these before I put it all together later, I'll put it on, but if not, it doesn't really matter, does it, because you can't actually see it when it's all done. So that is all that you do in issue 15. It's taken a little longer. So let's move on to issue 16 now. But before we do that, if you are enjoying this video, please don't hesitate to give it a like. Hitting that like button will really help me out and really help out the channel as well. So thank you very much for doing that. And I've just looked at the parts that come in issue 15 and we get more tiny silver parts. Oh yes, it is one of those videos where we are attaching a lot of little things together. But before we get on to that, the first parts we need from this little box are these 2 pieces here. We have 3 holes in this piece, as you can see here, and some really nice rivet detailing there. And then we get 3 plugs here, and we just push these parts together like that, so that we need to push it all the way down so that those parts do come out. There we go. All the way, in we go. Yep, so that part does need to be flush. I'm going to move the camera down a bit because you're missing what I'm doing. There we go. So they do need to stick out like that slightly, and that is that part all done. And this connects to this part here. So there we go. So you can clearly see the outline of where this is meant to go. We have 2 pegs now on this piece, and that part just plugs in there like that. It is a little raised, which is pretty cool. So that just sits in there like that, looking very nice indeed. We then need to bring back the main chunk of this first X-wing and we're going to attach these 2 parts together. But before we do that, there's just one little detail I missed out. This circle hole here has this little circle bulkhead part as well, and that just pushes in there just to add that little bit of extra detailing onto that part there. So I believe I flip this around, whoops, parts come flying out, and then these 2 pegs here will fit into these 2 holes here like this. Oh yeah, okay, that fits in really nicely actually. And actually that does add quite a lot to the underside there of this engine. Looking great. Really like how the paint actually all works together. Yeah, looking really good, that little piece there. Move the big wing aside just for a moment because we are looking at these parts now. I'm really not looking forward to doing these parts. This might take some time. As you can see, they are super tiny. Super tiny. Okay, I really need to think about this. These parts go onto this bit here, into this hole and this hole. I'm just looking at the directions. So there's a left and a right version. So, okay. Do these parts go on and then... Ooh. No, okay, so this part, see, it is a very small D shape, and it goes into the end hole, if I can find it, there. It's got a D-shaped hole there. And that just hopefully will fit in nice and easily. Oh. Ooh. Yes, yes. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That's one of them done. Let's do the other one. So let's find the hole. There's the hole, the D-shaped hole. And here it is. So let's just line these parts up. Oh. Again, probably should be using tools for this, but there we go. Nice click. That part is in there like that. Looking good. So, if I'm looking at this correctly, the circle. Ooh. I'm just trying to work out which way around this is now. There's 2 holes somewhere on this. Ah, okay, like that. Okay, like that. So these 2 holes. Sorry, this is really on the job stuff. Okay, so as long as we hold this part outright, so these 2 holes here need to face inwards on both parts. So this one goes in there like that. Okay, we've got those 2 holes facing inwards, and this one goes in there like that, with the 2 holes facing inwards as well, and it will look like that when it's all done. You then need to get the engine part, which we did. Here we go, just like that, and you can see we've got a big D-shaped hole there with there, and we just push them together firmly, and in doing so more of these pipes have come off. That's fine. The last thing I want is them rattling around in the X-Wing engine. God, can you imagine? Can't think of anything worse than it just rattling. So if they come off, it's fine by me. That part goes on there like that, and we have those 2 little details there like that. Okay, so far so good. Now we move on to all of these silver pipes. So I'm just going to tip them out, and we'll start assembling them one by one. I'm going to speed this part up. Okay, do you know what? I'm not going to do this. It is so fiddly, and these pipes don't mean anything, and I'm just getting frustrated. I know I should take my time with these builds, but I don't have the time, so I'm just going to leave them. You don't see them, so I'm not going to miss them. So there should be loads of pipes, but there's not. I've never done that before, just given up, but it was frustrating me. The next 2 parts are these really nice copper drill horn parts here. They're called power. It's the power converter, not drill horns, but they just slip in there together like that very nicely, and you just make sure you give them a push to really push them in. Oh, that is not wanting to go in, is it? Come on. Oh, let me just see if I can get this in. I can. There we go. That is that part all in there. And then that part should squeeze into there as well. It does if using your teeth. I use my teeth to shut this part together. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and then we have this part here. And we have a hole here and a hole here for these 2 parts. So we put the big circle part into this hole here, and then the end of this grey part into there like that. And that is what it looks like. The power converter and the engine of this X-Wing engine all done here, looking fantastic. Now we have to put the engine onto the main wing part. I mean, technically there are 2 more pipes that you're meant to attach. I'm just going to very quickly try and attach them. If they don't attach quickly, I'm not going to bother. Oh, actually this one might be right. Okay, so there's one in there like that, and then another one there like this. Sorry, I'm being lazy about the pipes. I'm just getting frustrated by it. But no, those 2 go in, so I'm going to keep those in. Ooh, don't break them. There we go. Some pipes there like that. Okay, now we need to attach it to the main wing part of the X-Wing, which I've already said, but we are actually going to do it now. So how do we do it, I hear you cry? Well, you know, be patient. I'm just about to tell you. You get this part here, this gold part, and we need to feed it through here, I believe. Is that right? Oh no, okay, so flip this around, and this fits into this groove here. Let me just zoom in. Fits into this groove here of this part like that. It actually got a little peg connecting part here. So there you go. It should fit in. Is that in? Does it need to go a bit further forward? Oh, the pipes are coming undone. This is very sloppy, even from my standards. I'm so sorry. Okay, so it doesn't quite fit into the groove. There should be a little hole here, I'm sure. Ah, there we go. Yes. So it's not this groove here. It's slightly further back, as you can see there. Oh, sorry, the focus is going really weird. It fits into there like that, and it will look like this when it's done on that there. And then this part, I assume, will come in and line up there like that. So we've got the power conversion to the engine, and there's the main engine inside. Okay, I see how this works. That's actually pretty neat looking. That is very nice looking indeed. And I imagine this just clips in there like that. Yes, it does. That part has come undone completely now from this part. So let's just plug that back in there. And now that has come undone. Oh, this is a comedy of errors, isn't it? This is a comedy of errors. No, okay. They're finally all in. I've lost another pipe. I don't care about the pipes. Okay. There we go. That looks really nice, actually. That bit of gold copper-ness looks really, really good. And I like the internal engine parts that fit together really quickly and easily. I don't like it when they take some time. So, how are we going to attach this properly to make sure it doesn't come out? Well, there is a screw hole just here. So let me just get the screw and then I'll screw it in. And I've lost my regular X-Wing screwdriver, so I'm just using an old DeLorean one. The same size, doesn't really matter, does it? As long as it goes in, which it is. Very nice indeed. Okay, so the engine is now screwed in. It just needs to be covered, but before we cover it, there's just one final thing we need to do over here, and that is attach this piece. So we want, this piece. So we want this part sticking upwards like that, and it will just, this part fits into the groove here, like so. The groove I showed you earlier. There we go. So that part will go on there like that. And then we bring in this main engine part to sit over the top of all of this. There's a little hole here for this copper part, so we need to make sure that the copper part feeds through the hole. Or is that just a design thing? Okay, it's just a design thing. That clips together, and then this will clip inside here like so. There'll be a little hole somewhere. I just need to look at this off camera. Be right back. There we go. So it's just a little tiny hole where this part clips into. Sorry for knocking the camera there. And then that part is in. This pipe work has come undone again. But if I screw all this down now, hopefully it will all stay in place. So let me just screw this down right now. And here it is, all done. So that engine part is now all finished. Now, this is all revealed to me, which is a bit of a worry. I hope this part gets covered up. If not, I'm going to have to take this part again and really think about all these parts that have come loose, because I don't want them loose on the final thing. But let me just look ahead. Oh, they don't have the parts for next week anymore, do they? They've just got wonderful artwork. So I don't know what's coming up next. Just got this stunning artwork instead. Look at that. Beautiful. So I don't know what's coming up next time. And I don't know when that's going to be. It'll be in the new year now because of Christmas and everything. But yeah, I might have to tidy this up. I should have done it properly as we went along. But I just got told by my wife that I have to go because I spent way too long doing all those pipes. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know on your thoughts of The Rise of Skywalker in the comments down below. And I will see you in the new year for more X-Wing builds. So have a fantastic Christmas, a great new year, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.